We're going to tune in. Excuse me. And now, breathe. Going to. Say it again.
That was the echo of the recording.
Oh, okay. Okay. So continue breathing. Hard breath. And inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Gurudev Namo. Antare Namah, Jagat Satguru Namah, Siri Breathe. And can we see the what do you call it? The message? Let's begin that.
Yep, this is the right one. Can you see it?
We'll go to the top.
Is this the top? This is the top? Now is the beginning of the ending?
Yes, at the beginning.
Is that what Gian Dasprem, did you just say this on the when we were doing the Quaker meditation?
I saw it in the title.
Oh, you saw it. Okay.
Went right to the end.
Now is the beginning of the ending. Tune in.
Okay, because I don't see it on the screen. But I need it to be at the very beginning.
Can everybody else see it?
No.
You can't see it?
No, what's it on my screen is Siri Gian leads meditation.
Right.
It says screen sharing is paused. How do I unpause it?
Say it again.
It says my screen sharing is paused. I'm going to stop share and then start again.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Okay, and during that time,
we're out there.
Oh, good.
Good.
Because oh no, not that one. Because begin with hard breath and send to Jagat. Okay.
Okay, I got the right one on my screen. Now I have to get it on your screen.
Oh, okay.
Can you see this?
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, that says 7:15. The Buddha letting go.
What is going on? Because it's saying the same thing. My screen sharing is paused. I'm gonna do it from my phone. If
Okay,
if we can't go one way, we're gonna go the other way.
good deal. And continue our breath for Jagat Guru. Oh, this is it. Thank you.
Okay.
So now, Japa Saraswati, can you write that, talk
Sure.
that? Mm-hmm.
Now is the beginning of the ending. Tune in. Message. Dear light workers, please listen from your last week, third class, from Buddhist No-Ego, from each of you as we did last week's, and then listen to you be ready for your listening for meditation again, for that again. So here's the link if we needed to see it. The beginning. So now, in other words, we are beginning to understand about the Aquarian Age. Even though so many of our extraordinary astrologists, physicists,
No, physics, psychics. I'm sorry.
I
Psychic.
reversed them by accident. Psychics, physicists, channelers, spiritual leaders, and more who are still talking about the identical stories and at the same time. This is beginning the time of metamorphosis or chaos, that the world is actually falling apart. Our old ways are changing from our dear earth, and humans are letting go from our bodies and mind. But on the other side, that is because the old world is giving us our new age with really new transformations, and many are beginning to change about these new predictions within us that you already know about. So now this is from our kindly Judith Kusel to lead us together to our own future. So here's the link for the Judith Kusel meditation. Harimandir will lead her for our chant, God and me and God, our one. On the whole line, just sing Harimandir's words with the tune and then continue with her words and tune together for 3 minutes. After that, Aagia Pal will lead us for 1 minute with heart pumping, which is heart breath with breath of fire. Then use 2 parts for this meditation for dynamite diamond. 1 minute, begin with heart breath. Listen from your voice to decide who or what will move toward your Heelys meditation. Then 3 minutes to continue to feel very strong third eye energies, to feel, focus, and see direct to your diamond light beam toward your Healy, to another or from yourself. If more than enough power from dynamite diamond is needed, then change to heart breath. Then Siri Gian will lead CNR. So we'll continue with CNR, Consciousness No Reality. For 5 minutes of CNR, Consciousness No Reality, which is strong heart breath, belly breath, nose inhalation for 6 seconds, nose exhalation for 6 seconds from out of your heart center. Slide from fear. Let go from any of your nasty, difficult old stuff. No reality, no thinking, no everyday self. Only feel, just be light. Then we'll spend 2 minutes to become awareness and understand what happened from everyday self. Use your notes. Lots of love, Siri Gian.
Great. Okay. So now let's go to the top again.
With the here?
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is again about listening from last week for the third session. Okay. So now each of you, please listen. Well, you should have taken that again for third and so on. So, and then also with that, there were also a couple of people here, and they're going to listen to what happened during this week. Okay? Okay, so please, okay, so first with Aagia Pal and what you found out from No-Ego first. And then she's going to talk about more from Dynamite Diamond. Okay, begin, please.
So first off, as I, listened to the video again, what I want to say is that I have so many darn attachments I have to work on. And as I was watching it and I'm writing, fast, I'm writing everything down, da, da, da. And, I'm attached to getting it all to there. There's a part anyway that I realized of my personality that is attached to outcome, that is, doesn't have any peace until I can release my effort. And, um, and I certainly, identify as they talk about this is a great video. It nailed it for me. I identify often with an incomplete image. So, trying to, better myself and so on. And the key phrase in here, about talking about freedom that hit me is that our final attachment to being let go of is a belief that outside of me there is something has to change in order for me to feel whole. So the external became very prominent, and I see that now. I really see that. So and they said that stop postponing peace. Just allow the ground from with I can't read my writing. Allow the ground from which wise effort arises. And so it's more confident in myself and bringing a peaceful countenance that I feel complete. And however I am, I can be at peace with it. And it doesn't mean I can't feel and I can't really want to, get better and so on. But I don't hang on to it and do things because I'm attached to the outcome of improving myself. So forgiving myself for all this and replacing it with a lot of gratitude and so there's steady acceptance that has been growing. And that's kind of where I left off there, that and it really was helpful and peaceful. And and as far as the this dynamite diamond has taken me, has really expanded me. I have become, I wanted to share because I've become more in tune with third eye energy, and they're showing me how to modulate the third eye energies and how to focus the third eye energies. And so and you know, if my head starts aching, so sometimes if I'm doing it too strong, I can get a headache. And so I've been working on, you know, breathing into third eye energies. And what has come up most recently is I'm a prayer chaplain at Unity, and somebody contacted me to request prayer. And she had just had surgery, and she was she's wheezing, and she's like, oh, after the surgery I'm still wheezing, and I'm so afraid that I'm never going to stop wheezing, and so on. So what I did is I went into a meditation of the dynamite diamond, and focused. First I brought her picture of her to mind, and then I focused my energies. Oh, and then I did Ong Namo just to tune in, and then I focused my energy, third eye energy, on her lungs. And with that, and then they showed me to focus it through this chakra wand that I have, that has all different stones that, you know, of different frequencies. So I focused the energy from the third eye through this chakra wand to her lungs. First came a color of green, and then faded into, I could see a color of very, very pale lavender, purple, whatever. And so they explained that the energies it doesn't come out necessarily as this laser beam that I initially thought it. So the energy, so I let the energies do what it's supposed to do. I don't say anything, I just focus them. So what happens is the energies they got softer and enveloped her lungs, in this light. And that's a very high frequency. I think purple is a very high frequency, and it just enveloped. And then my intention was that she allow the lungs to heal, as the intelligence of all of the molecules and cells in the lungs have to heal, and that to understand. I was just sending this intention that she understand that the wheezing is a sign that she is beginning to heal from this insult, should I say, to her lungs. And so anyway, I just want to share that. I have to talk to her later, but so, and this is this is ongoing, right? So I think I mentioned to Siri Gian a couple of other instances and examples I've had with dynamite diamond, and I'm realizing that for me, this is the energy that I can develop, evolve, use, and for healing. And it's extremely, I find, what's the word? I can work with it. It's yeah, it's and I think it's working with me. And as I said, the messages that I got about how to use it, I'm just staying open and saying, I'm open and welcoming any more teaching on how I can use it. So I wanted to share because and thank you for listening, because this is one of the most important experiences that I've had in this, work and this healing work. And it feels like I've been working up toward it, and it feels very sacred. And and the more I, the less ego I have, right, the more power will be entrusted in me to do more of this work. Perhaps I haven't yet, but on multiple individual, groups. This has only been my dog, um, another person that I know, and then this other person from Unity. So it's a beginning, and I feel like it's like a celebration of uh, this exploration. So that's it. I don't want to take much more time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Isn't that cool?
It is. It's extremely cool.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Okay. So did we see? Oh, next is Gian Dasprem.
Satnam.
So no,
So for me, it has been the human technology, and then the other technologies, and the non-speaking vibratory light communications that I have seen in my consciousness through all the levels of my consciousness, while being awake, while being asleep, while waking up from sleeping, and the places that I'm at when I do that, the travel. And remembering to before I could remember enough to forget all that I could remember. And that has been something that I used to think was a curse or some sort of abuse that I was experiencing through the other experiences, through time of this human technology. And all of the teachings of the people who have lived on this planet through the eons, even below Antarctica, where they lived at one point, and all of these generations that we've gone through to where we are now, to this other stage of letting go again, right? Of the ownership of the ego, of the feelings, in order to get to a place where we can actually be with it. And through the practice, I've just been noticing, yes, with all of these people speaking, whether they are here now or they're gone, that it's okay to let it go. Everything, all of the teachings, all of because where did they come from? Okay, it's okay. Let it go. The breath, this technology, just letting go of all the hate, the fear, the killing, right? We can go into Japji, we can go into, our singing simple songs about the flower and the water and the earth and this vibration below my feet and above my head, so, and just noticing how light moves and how sometimes it comes into this planet carrying items. So I'm just an item here. So I cannot, there's no claim for me, is what I came to be, is letting go of that in order to see the light, in order to be with the light, is for me just that complete letting go from, the experiences, the physical experiences, the abuse, the pain, the risks, and the injuries that can come through that time and space, plus our environment. So noticing that pressure that's being relieved by the ease of letting go, which sometimes it had been a difficult practice for me to try to talk to other people about it, you know, the experiences. So it's a shared experience that's so beautiful for us now, I think, moving forward and in the way of the Buddha and noticing the plant life and all of the things that are surrounding that, and us becoming more open to that receptive light, energy, water moving through, so that we can have this way of communication to open up right through that freedom of again of long traveling. I'll go back to that again of the vast amount of spaces that we have come across to be here. And this experience is allowing us to even go deeper than that for the letting go, for the understanding, for that part of the personal experience, which traces all the way through our DNA, through every human, through every form of this speaking form that writes and does symbols and all of these things. So, and coming back to Waheguru and noticing sometimes how you can just sit there without feeling. It may seem like you're gone off to somewhere, but you're focusing on your breath, and then the water just starts to come, right? Whether it's from under my armpits or from out of my eyes, and the nutrition from that and that healing part of that transformation of letting go is Waheguru. And here I am. And thank you so much for that too, of the ability to listen and to absorb and to squeeze out in a sponge. I often go back to the sponge. It just seems, you know, and we can notice within that testing and how we're going, moving through injuries, disease, that we're processing part of that through our ego too. And letting go of that is good for moving throughout the different stages of the body and back to the chakras again, right? And that way of the world of the Jagat, right? The world energy, that always moving part inside. And yeah, and I can let go of that too. So the ongoing practice of being with love and being with light and noticing the creation and the recreation and the Om is a good thing moving forward too. So this is really a powerful moving forward for me with, you know, noticing inside of my body more and what needs to be worked on. There's some things going on. So, and you know, dealing with it with ease, and the noticing of the sharing of information, how it can be brought in a softer way through the love and through the kindness of this freedom here, this life. And I you know, I don't need to mention myself. I don't need to mention somebody else. It's all right here for us to share. It's all been here being flowing on us like a river, right? Of this information, this lovely information that we can just bring in and handle and share with people, that we're billions and billions of people in this group, and we're moving into this new place, and the Healy and the healer and the love and the change of the noticing of the shifting of the guard, right? And the basket is coming back in. And the basket is a theme, right? It's something that, it just came through me, but the basket is a theme for this week, right? With the astrology and everything. And I was pleased to notice some of the things that come through, the breadcrumbs and the raindrops and the evaporation back up to the clouds. You know, it's just song is going on and through everything. I mean, we could plug into a tree, we could plug into a flower. They're making these beautiful noises and sounds. And so just coming back into that way of that song, right? That everlasting song that's been going on for millions of years and throughout the eons and ages and long travelers. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity and moving forward. It's good to know that we'll be meeting up with each other and in other ways for that opening. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Guido.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now, Sun City.
Satnam, can you all hear me?
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
listen.
wonderful. I just
Uh-huh.
don't have an image.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you, did you meditate for last week for the session, for the third session for the no ego from the Buddhism?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember which one it was. And it's a kind of a turbulent time for me. A couple of things happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just getting regrounded here. And let's see if I could share. I could really use some insight from all of you.
So are you saying that you would like to um, listen about other people? And so you're later than in this?
Sure, that's a good idea. Thank you. That's a good idea.
Okay.
But
So,
I'm here
okay.
fully.
So Harimandir.
Uh-huh. Um, I'm kind of in the same boat. Things are happening fast, and
Okay.
what intrigues me is that the same message that the whole video talks about, other people are talking about it too, at different levels. The astrologers are talking about it, and
Mhm.
every the people on YouTube that do offer spiritual or uplifting advice are all pretty much saying the same thing. And I don't know which part of the one, two, or third segment, but there was one I was listening to last night that mirrored what someone else had been saying, is that as they were talking about marriages and how people move into different relationships over time that have no um, how do I say it? They can, how to allow relationships to change over time without I guess I would say giving up on them, or that the relationships can last a lifetime, but there's changes throughout. And I'm not being very clear on this, but Yogi Bhajan had said,
Helpful.
what? Hope, hopeful? Did you say?
Helpful what you're talking about is really important.
Okay.
Really helpful.
In the old days, Yogi Bhajan used to, he had this one big, long lecture, essentially. But he said, listen to the lecture, record it in your own voice, and listen to it. And in that lecture, it was about how in the future there will be less marriages. And at the time, and still, I wonder how the kids handle that. But or maybe the marriages are just relationships that will move and change, and how do we prepare our young people for, I think it will just organically happen, but to not expect everything from a relationship, because the relationship is within, the real relationship is inside each person. So again, that's Aagia Pal was talking about the outside needing affirmation from the outside, whereas the marriage is within, to oneself, I guess is. A couple of things just happened this week. My God, the person to whom I asked to be godmother of my daughter died rather suddenly this week, and her whole family is here. And so we've been working on that level of stuff, but and it was lovely, actually. I think moving into dying can be messy and challenging, but the actual crossing is often lovely, and that's the situation for her. The other challenge I have is a youngish, I think he's in his 40s, maybe even 50s. He's homeless. He's part Black. He's part Choctaw Native, and a deeply spiritual young man, young from my perspective, that when things happen, like in the homeless community, when he passed by a toaster oven, or a toaster, and it caught fire, it wasn't necessarily him.
A poster?
A toaster,
Toaster.
toasting toast.
Okay.
But he's accused of causing it. So he's banned. People are scared, and he's been banned from the places that could help and help him. And the same thing happened this week. The trailer park where he was staying with a girlfriend, he could see another trailer catching fire and was trying to find a hose to put it out, but he was accused of starting the fire, which he didn't do. So he's and he has spiritual powers, but how to heal the impression that other people have that he's causing things to happen.
Harimandir, is this
Yeah.
the gentleman who joined us?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Would you remind me of his name?
His name is William Coleman.
William Coleman. Can we do heart breath for him?
That would be lovely.
I would like that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Shall we begin for 1 minute?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. And now begin. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe. And Harimandir,
Yeah.
can you teach him heart breath and teach himself as well as sending heart breath to other people?
Yes. When he came by yesterday, I was teaching him Ho'oponopono,
Mhm.
but it was just the first that whenever we do Ho'oponopono, it's ourselves that is healing.
Exactly.
And that healing helps the other.
That's right. Okay. So, because it's important if William is having problems with those other people who are accusing you. Okay.
Mhm.
So please use that like immediately.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll continue with Ho'oponopono, but also with heart breath.
Okie doke.
Good. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay. So now, I think Japa Saraswati, are you the next?
Mhm.
That
Okay.
was really powerful for me to be
Mhm.
doing heart breath for William because it ties in with my realization from the video, but it was also very Ho'oponopono because it was about myself. I ran into some people in the grocery store yesterday, two people in the grocery, they were together, and I think that they had a bad idea of me from
Mm.
something that was rather circumstantial way in the past, and this one woman was very smug with me because of it, and I really have felt a little bit feeling the weight of somebody else's judgment that you feel like you can't even um, get out of. Like if you defend yourself against it, it feels like the snake tightening itself around you. And on the video, I took notes when I watched it again, and one of my notes was that resistance keeps identity rigid. So it feels like when you say, "No, of course I didn't start the fire," it's everybody's now like, "Oh yeah, now he's denying the fire. He's talking about fires all the time. Fire, he's a firebug," like you know what I mean? And I felt like with these people that I couldn't, that there was nothing that I could say with them. So my notes for the video, um, one, that there's no such thing as fair, and to eliminate mental resistance and simply allow. And I want to come back to Jagat Guru because I said it last week, but in all of her yoga classes, she would always just say allow. She said allow all the time, allow the sound of her voice, allow the messages to come,
Mm.
just allow your practice to settle into your body. Allow. She would say it just constantly. So that was one of the messages that I got from the video. And that there's no such thing as complete. And my next note was to be here now, because in one of the messages from the video that I got was to stop waiting for such and such to happen for me to be ready or to be complete, or for that the future is now. And then resistance keeps identity rigid, and grief is a part of identity. So
Mm.
like give up grief to give up um that rigidity within the self. Like I always come back to not just neuroplasticity but plasticity in general. Like that's why our practice is important, is to keep us flexible and moving physically, and then also um mentally, we have to, as bodies age, they get less flexible. And as as we know, the law of requisite, is it requisite demand, it is about flexibility, that the most flexible uh component is the master component. And as we get more stuck in any form of identity, that's a rigidity, that's a lack of flexibility. And then I came back to Krishna consciousness, um,
Mm.
that 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 plasticity, that flexibility feels to me, um, as it resonates with Krishna consciousness for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, Japa Saraswati, can you also talk about what you have listened about this past week, I believe, about Baba Siri Chand?
Mm.
Oh, about the yeah, so it was like, how do I say this? But the day, okay, what he was showing me was about fifth dimension being all in the same place at the same time. Like, and he's been showing me this for a while for you with to share with you guys, but I haven't felt like I've had exactly the right words to express it, or that I don't want to feel like I'm just like spouting. But he's shown it to me a number of times, so I'm like, okay, I have to try to explain it. That that the 3D was like the old here and now, which was just what we thought was like here and now. But now, as we step into the Aquarian times, we're stepping into the 5D, which is all of history happening
Mm.
at once. And it was like that before, but it's like meta like that now. And that,
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you,
yeah,
sister.
it's
Thank you,
it's
sister.
it's so meta, okay? And all of it is happening right here and now. So what he showed me was like that time, for example, that I was in Jagat
Mm.
Guru's class, and Baba took me to Samadhi, and he brought me to a place in the Himalayas where it was completely clouds. Like I thought I was in heaven, because I had no context of what was around me, because it was all entirely clouds. I couldn't see the ground underneath my feet. The clouds were so thick, but like it was, I I don't know how else to say it, but he showed me. It was only afterwards I understood that that was the Himalayas, and that that was a place where Baba goes to meditate. But then what I have felt since then is that that place might have like market stalls there now, and probably the climate is different, and there's not as much clouds there all the time now, and that there's probably like pedestrians. And when Baba brought me there, the silence was deafening. Like it was like wow. And now what he showed me is that there are other things there now. So what we have to realize is that that is layered. So right now, there's a place that has market stalls and pedestrians and birds flying around making tweet tweet sounds. And at the exact same time, at the exact same time, is this place that is exactly like heaven, and it's total
Mm.
samadhi, and it's total silence, and it's total union with the divine and God as one, and that's accessible every place all of the time. but it's kind of more than that. It also means that we're carrying all of our epigenetics with us. So we're carrying all of the ancestors with us, and we're carrying all of their history with us. And we're also carrying all of the history of the land that we're on. So it's like the echoes of our ancestors and the echoes of the land are all happening simultaneously. And for me, sometimes it feels like really loud to be aware of all of the ancestors and the here and now with the cars and the helicopters and the hustle and bustle of like daily life, so much so that I forget the time when like Native Americans were on this exact land, and that we were that it was a totally different way of life, that it was a totally different place. And it feels like it's easy to drown out these I feel, I don't want to say primitive in a bad way, but like, because I do mean it in a very good way, but that there's this like other primitive um experience of time and space. Oh, and so what he showed me also is that it's important to, there's this wonderful artist, Mary Williamson, who had a logo that said, "Stay prayed up." And it is so true. Amen. Hallelujah. Stay prayed up. And, but what Baba showed me is like, however you pray, but like meditate to ground deeply in that which is eternal. And what he showed me is almost like the Shushmana. And he also showed me that being integral with the Shushmana is being plugged in to Mother Earth on the one end, and to the heavens like at the top of the golden chain. What I've been telling my yoga students is that there's a golden chain at their 10th gate, drawing them up, so that they've got the Shushmana in the middle, and that they are basically just paying attention to that Shushmana. But what Baba showed me is that when we are in that place of deep meditation, we're in this place of balance, um, samadhi, that is grounded deeply on one end and also ascended very high on the other end, and that we are this experience of balance, that then that Shushmana is, to me, it's the part of the stillness of the meditation, the stillness of stilling the undulations, or the vritti, the undulations of the mind. Um, and that it's being in that stillness, that makes us aware in this big busy world. The world is so dang busy that he's showing me to stay in that, that we have to continually make ourselves aware of the stillness, or else the loudness will completely crowd out all thinking, you know. And that's what the 5D is going to be kind of the experience of, is that like, well, for me it's feeling a bit loud, and that I need to remain grounded in that way. I think that was it.
Well, that's great.
Thank you, G. Beautiful, helpful.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm seeing people around here are with heart breath. They call it peaceful. So maybe that's also about what you're talking about. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. For
Okay.
just finding that, whatever, however you find that place of peace, you know, you could do it with heart breath, you could do it with yoga, with meditation, with different ways, but just to find that place of peace.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful description that you have made. This is lovely.
It was Baba. He'd been working on it for me. Like I kept on wanting to tell you guys, and then I just didn't feel I felt like it would be not related or just too much talk, but like he kept on pushing for it.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Salt City.
Satnam, everyone. I've been in a very challenging period, and it definitely has the texture and feel of a spiritual transformation, almost tantric like. So I'll start with, I've always had a karma struggling with home, having a home, and it's a lot growing up. And the thing in the Irish families, the worst thing you could do is throw somebody out of their home. And my mom was kind of really troubled at different points and would throw me out a lot. I had to stay with neighbors and that kind of thing. So it's come up to be healed. And the circumstance, I've been very, very disoriented, partly because of a healing head injury. And that's part of like the dislocation from self, which is probably what that homelessness, I'm just realizing as I'm speaking with you now, is homelessness from oneself, from myself. So it's almost, so right now I'm in between. I've had to move a lot, and I'm currently, I was facing being homeless because the place where I had been living, Father George had to go into, he had really bad dementia, but mostly it was Alzheimer's, really, really rough case. And his order ordered him, his priestly order, to be removed and put in a beautiful senior housing for these elderly priests. So going through that process was very moving, also challenging because everything had to be cleaned out of his house. The people who were moving in were very impatient, and there was a lot of conflict around it for reasons that aren't really important. But it was a tough process, and so I came to stay. A miracle just dropped into my lap through a friend who said, "Oh, I have a friend who has a wonderful home, and it's an old farmhouse, and it's actually a boarding house, was a boarding house." So I'm currently anchored in a true gift of being in this boarding house in a cozy room with there's people coming and going that I don't know, but they're very interesting characters,
Mhm.
and very spiritual characters, and the homeowner is a very good guy. So now the next thing was that the state came through this, or the state of Massachusetts, with possible places to live. And I'm supposed to go today for an interview at one of them. So it's senior housing, which Massachusetts is amazing, takes really good, you pay a lot of taxes, but if you become a senior here, incredible senior housing, etc. So a spot has opened up at a place. It's called Framingham Green. And I've been there, I've checked it out. It's workable. It's on a busy highway, or kind of tucked away from a busy highway. But I feel very torn about, I could stay here or I could go. But if I don't go to this other place, I get kicked out of, I've been waiting for about 6 years on the senior housing list, at least. I was told it would take 6 years. And I got a letter saying that 6 years back. So now it's up. And I feel so uncertain and unclear about what to do. At 2 o'clock today, I'm supposed to meet with the gal. And if I just don't have any intuition about it. Going, what's clear, I feel very anchored here. The reason for moving would mostly be that it would be long term until I die. I'd have an apartment and a place to live. And I do know the place that in my soul, I know the place where I'm supposed to be. And it's a senior place that I visit often and participate in their activities. We do all sorts of fun things, cake decorating. And I know that's where I'm supposed to end up, but this is the opening that has opened. And I was thinking even of the gentleman who's sharing his house is just gave it incredibly reasonable. He wants me, oh, you just pay $160 a month, which is very affordable for me. And I'm in the process of scrubbing down his entire place, which it's been a very lovely, gracious exchange where I can be very helpful to him, and he was certainly very helpful to me. So it's not what's really challenging right now is this sense of conflict and confusion, which I think is old stuff that's coming up about homelessness and getting kicked out and having this really troubled relationship with feeling like I deserve to have a home, to feeling at home. And it's just kind of torturous. So I'm just sharing it. If anybody has some intuition or insight or instinct about anything, I feel like I'm here to learn.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
If you go to the senior housing, does that mean that you won't go to the cake decorating place ever? Does that close that door for you?
I've been trying to find that out. I don't think so, but I have an appointment with a gal I could find out tonight, and it makes me want to. I would think I would be able to move there, but I'm not sure. And I haven't been able, there's a lot going on in the moving process. So
Well, can
I'm
I
going
ask another question then
to,
about the
sure.
moving process?
Mhm.
Like, is it that you don't want to go because it was hard to move just a month ago and now you feel a little bit settled, but you've only been there a month and you don't know that you have the oomph in you to move your stuff and your body again in 1 month? Is that it?
What I was planning to do is to just go ahead and take this other offer or find out. We'll certainly go to the interview and find out. I also wasn't very pleased with the kind of interactions with this house. There's not that's with the place where I'd be going next. I've had encounters with the director there. So it's more, yeah, I'm not capable of moving the stuff. And my goal was just to keep paying $160 a month and have an office, which I could actually really, really use. And pay both rents until I got clear on which one to hold on to.
Okay. Good. Okay. Sun City,
Satnam, yes.
there are a few things.
I'm gonna get my pen. Hold on a second. I don't want to forget this. And thank you everybody for the
Of course.
kindness and insights.
Okay. So after the rest of this session, there are different meditations.
Right.
Okay. So after you go with that, also let go with the rest of our group. Also feel to send energy to Salt City. And then to understand what you're going to give. Is that okay?
Sure.
It-
Something really important just came to mind. I moved here to go to the ashram. I lived at the ashram. I had been coming every summer, and it truly did not work out. So that was a huge loss. And my relationship still hasn't been fully restored there, though it's starting to happen. And then I lived with Father George, who was sort of an ashram because he was a priest. And we didn't do any Catholic things, but it was you could just feel it when you walked in. And it's a sacred, spirit-filled place.
Mhm.
So, and I have known on a soul level, wow, this is where I'm supposed to be, Framingham, because there's all sorts of opportunities to serve and integrate Kundalini. This is a great place to do it. So that's become clear that I'm in the right place. I'm in the right area. I'm part of advocates. I'm going to be moving into certified recovery specialty. We have a terrible, terrible addiction problem here. And using Kundalini, it came, okay, here's your job, Satsiti. This is really clear. Soul was really clear. You're here to teach Kundalini and to work with this, help with this really rough addiction issue here. The homelessness it's created. So I feel pretty good about that. It involves some training, but the state pays for it. And it really feels like the soul project for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
So that's good. I know I'm in the right area. I just
Okay. Because I want to just tell you a little thing. And afterwards, after all of our meditations, then at that point,
we can talk.
yeah, and let
Got it.
go. Don't, like others said, don't be rigid, just be open. Do you
Okay.
understand that?
Oh, I embrace it.
Good.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you something this past week that do you remember that we said from you that during the Aquarian shift that how do you say that food would be not much food, but we but from consciousness for knowing,
Yes. Yes.
because you would find that a box of food would
Yes.
fall off.
The
Yeah. Well, what happened this week? I was really concerned about this coming famine.
Yes.
Will. And
Mm.
I was getting, through the internet to find protein powder, 2 of them every of those for a week, for a month. And so some things got kind of crazy and about my charge card and herbs and so on. And what happened a couple of days, because I had made the the item were 2 protein powders, but what came instead is 8 cans of that.
So perfect. Oh,
Okay.
that's all right there.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now believe that.
I
Okay.
believe. Yes.
And the same as what everybody else is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So keep with that.
Okay.
Okay.
I will.
So now we have Judith Kusel. Japa Saraswati? Japa Saraswati? Are
Yes,
you?
I'm loading up the video.
Oh, good. Thank you.
While we're loading up the video, can I say something?
Sure.
So listening to Harimandir really quickly, what came to me, what they were saying is this William Coleman might have a walk-in. He might be, there might be ETs involved with him, and he is so, and he is so, and he's gifted, right, and powerful, and by us doing the heart breath for him, what he simply has to do, there's fire in his aura. So he hopefully can learn to direct, to own it first, and then to use it. And if there is in fact a walk-in involved with him, then the work he does with heart breath and that we all need to do for him will be very helpful to condense, to focus his energies instead of having the fire externalized into all these different places. Anyway, that's what came to me.
Beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
Can I ask a question? If he has a given name other than, does he have an indigenous name?
William Coleman.
I don't know if he has an indigenous name.
Oh, yeah.
I had to leave for just a second because there was a big crane pulling things out of my yard and I had to move my car.
And you
So-
don't need a word.
They didn't take your
Wow.
car, right?
No.
I know.
But I missed some of this, so I will have to go listen again.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So here we go. Oh, this is great because we can read that. Okay.
Yes.
It says soul ascension through seeming chaos. There you go. How about that?
And
Oh,
this
wait a
means
minute.
that it
Go
will
back
be more
there
and more that we will see
be sure to
that the world
start. Okay, go back there.
we are in the time of the great transition. And this means that it will be more and more that we will see that the world is becoming more chaotic, but on the other hand, it's becoming more pristine. It's becoming more energetically aligned to the new earth and the new golden age. And we have a choice. We can choose to stay in the old chaotic and highly turbulent old earth, or we can choose in our thoughts and in our words and in our deeds and in our very energy fields to actually assume our new light body and our new crystalline heart. As our new 12 and 24 strands of DNA are fully activated already, and we can choose which way we're going now. In my soul readings, this has come to the fore since last year, that every soul now has a choice. You can either choose to stay where you are and move more into the chaotic old earth, or you can choose to actually rise above it and to choose to fully ascend. Now, ascension process literally means a process of purity, of being purified inside and out. If you've got a very dirty glass and you don't wash it, then it will get dirtier. But if you actually wash it and rinse it properly, it shines, it's see-through. There's no speck of dirt anywhere. That's basically what we are busy transfiguring into, that we become spotless, that we become clear, that our intention and the way that we live our life is pure. In other words, we become see-through. We have nothing to hide. We have nothing that lies don't even come up anymore because we're living our truth. And more than this, we don't lie to ourselves either. We simply and truly are pure. Our intention is pure, our heart is pure, and we are pure in our thoughts and in our words and in our deeds. Now that takes a lot of responsibility, because if you have to take and you choose to take, nobody tells you that, you're choosing in your heart and soul and all that you are, and with love, to go the highest pathways, and that is the way of ascension. And that means that you now will also be challenged on gaining mastery. We all are. All the ascended masters that ever walked on this earth had to go through tests. And the tests were tests of purity. In other words, are your thoughts, your words, and your deeds aligned? Are you in charge of your thoughts? Because your thoughts manifest instantly now. Are you in charge of your words? Because what you speak has power. And if you constantly dismiss yourself and speak badly onto yourself and into yourself, well, then that is what creates illness, imbalance, hatred, fear, that type of thing. And then you also choose how you are conducting your life. Do your deeds reflect your thoughts, your words, and the way that you are? You see, that is mastery. Is it not often that you just have a snippet of news coming somehow in your sort of orbit? Like I haven't watched the news for years and years and years, and I always get informed anyway what's going on. But you know, the thing is now on social media, you get these snippets, and before you know it, it's sort of in your, because everything that you see, everything that you hear, and everything that's there out there is already then programmed into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish whether this is bad or good or whatever. It simply programs it in. It's like a hard drive of the computer. Now, what do? You immediately get off kilter, or you can choose not to get off kilter, but to go immediately and wipe those things out. You're not helpless. Not one of us is helpless. You are in charge of your own life, and you are in charge of what you watch and what you hear and what you think, okay? That is absolutely a wonderful lesson in mastery. And with all these things, as you gain in mastery, I don't say that I'm a master. I'm just saying as you gain in master, you start having a sense of humor also, because it's almost like you start looking at all the shenanigans, all that's going on in the old earth, and you sort of look at it and you think to yourself, oh, wow, there they go again, okay, without judgment. It's almost like you want to almost like shake souls awake sometimes and say, come on, there you go, do the old things, go and toy and do whatever you want to, and that's just not, it's not kosher anymore. It's not what brings you joy. It's not in the real way that you are bringing your life to the full and the vital life force. There are better and higher ways of actually being there, but it's not judgment in such as you are judging, but rather as if your heart opens in compassion. And you want to actually show them there is a greater way to live. There's a way of joy. There's a way of love. There is a way of unity. There's a way of oneness. There's a way of peace. The problem is that is their own choice. If the heart doesn't open and there's no awakening, that is the way the life will continue for them. and you cannot go and grab them and piggyback them into the new earth. That doesn't work either. You know, that is when Mother Nature always inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday, I was standing there at a spot and I was just surrounded by my beloved mountains and all the energies that are now shifting in the highest degrees. The new earth is already here and the new golden age. And I was just absorbing this. And I was thinking, after all these storms that we had, our nature is vibrant and alive, and she is growing. The energy fields have just amped up. And then, of course, the energies are pouring in via the sun flares, which are encoded with sacred geometries, and they go directly into our hearts and into our minds. And it is reprogramming at us in the highest degrees. No chemtrails or anything can stop that. They can't stop this from happening. Actually, to go and sit in the sun is the greatest thing you could do for yourself, because everything is absorbing and it's going directly into your subconscious mind. It is reprogramming us in a greater way that no publicity and no innovation and propaganda and anything else can do. But you need to be open for it. Mother Nature is assisting us, the elementals and the elements and all life and life forms. You know, when I look at the nature, I can see the new energy fields around them. It's like they're perking up, where they've got halos around it. And if somebody is really enlightened and full of illumination from within, like the sun, their whole aura reflects it. I don't even need to say a word, because the aura is already affecting all around it. Yeah? That's not a miracle, then what is? Open yourself to the miracle of life. Yeah? You are in charge of your thoughts. You can stop the bus right there and say, I will not think those thoughts. If you can imagine that you've got a whiteboard in front of you and it's filled with so much muck and scripts and old things, you know, that you're programmed for, right? You can just, in your own mind, actually wipe it clear until your thoughts are clear. You can ask Archangel Jophiel and Christine, his twin flame, and say, please clear my thoughts and clear my mind and clear the space in around it. Instantly you get help. You are not helpless. You never have been helpless. And if you go and see that these things are coming through on the feed or whatever, then simply don't give it attention. Clear your mind immediately. You are in charge of what goes on in your subconscious mind and what goes into it. Clear it. And then if these words start coming out and you want to go and angry and spit your whole anger onto someone, go and take deep breaths. Get back to the state of calmness and serenity. And once you are calm and once you are in a state of love, then be careful with the words that you speak. Yeah? Because words can be like daggers. Words can put spells on other people. Huh? Is that what you want to sow in seeds? No. Yeah? You rather want to be in a state of serenity and peace within you, and then speak words of power that are like seeds of love that you plant. And what happens to those seeds is none of your business. You plant them with love and wisdom and with power. The power that is in line with divine love, divine light, divine power, and divine wisdom. You see, you have a choice. And also in your deeds. If your gut feeling tells you that this is not kosher, if somebody else wants you to do something, and you still go and do it, you go against your own soul. You see what mastery is all about. If you know deep in your heart and soul you do not want to go there, you feel it's not right for you, then don't go and do it. You can't go and blame the others later and say, you got me to do that. They didn't get you to do that. You choose to do it, yes? That's what standing in your mastery means. It doesn't matter, 10,000 people decide they're going to go there. Choose your own path. And then choose it from the heart of love. You see, we are not helpless. We never were. A lot of the seeming helplessness was programmed into us. It's time.
Excuse me? I feel I need to interrupt for a moment. Sat City, did you say that your appointment is at 2 o'clock? Do you need to get up and get yourself ready for your appointment?
Yeah, I'm putting on my sneakers and you're just right
Very
in
good.
time.
Okay.
Thank you.
To
God bless everyone.
as you
Satnam.
become more and more, grow into the higher dimensional state, your inner self, as you choose to let all those old programming, the old you go, and that's an everyday thing, because there's always something or someone that's going to push your
Japa
buttons along the line.
Saraswati,
Those buttons are there to
Japa
remind you of
Saraswati.
Yes.
Okay, so since you understand what's going to happen for you at the appointment, okay? So after we finish with all of our meditations and you are going to this appointment, because I suggest that when you are there with the what do you call them? Interview?
Interviewer.
Just feel what's going to happen. Just
Beautiful.
not with your mind, but immediately listen. Okay?
Muchas gracias.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love to all. I'm going to head out.
Okay. Thank you very much for everybody.
For
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. Japa Saraswati, that
Yes.
was great, and continue.
truth, to remind you to take complete charge of your own life, and also to see, why is this pushing my buttons? What have I not loved and owned within myself? Because now everything is reflecting you back to yourself. Yeah. Yeah, nobody said that ascension will just happen and say, okay, now suddenly I'm in a new life. That's not how it works. You've got to earn your stripes to get into there. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's like with my birthday, we had all this turmoil going on with them forcefully forcing the foreigners out of this country. And there's all these stories about these poor people. But there's also the stories of angels who opened their hearts and who really helped them, and with love. Yeah. So I'm not going into all the politics and everything. At the age of 21, I had the ambition to be a politician until the first, and I saw what was going on, and I promised myself I will never ever vote, and I will never ever be involved in politics. It's a certain path that some choose. To me, a true leader demonstrates with their whole life, with their thoughts, with their thinking and their deeds, true leadership. And true leadership has integrity. True leadership is steeped in love and compassion. And true leadership does not lie in their own pockets in detriment to others, but rather is in humble service to the whole. But how can you
Rock and Rob.
recognize leadership in others if you don't recognize that
Oh.
within yourself? How can you expect anybody to be truthful if you're not truthful yourself? How can you command others to do things that you wouldn't even touch with a 10-foot pole? Yeah? You see how we are being challenged? Do you see that all the muck that is being turned up is always challenging us to choose the highest pathways and to say, I'm not that anymore. I choose to live my life in total alignment with my own inner self and the divine that lives within me, because the kingdom of heaven is within you, here inside your heart. And this is the great heart opening of humanity. It's a great heart opening, so that we finally realize if we cannot love ourselves into the deepest shadow and the highest light, how can we love others? If we do not allow ourselves the space in the sun, we will not allow anybody else to go and stand in in their own sun and not in another one's shadow. We have stood in the shadows of others too long. We now need to stand fully in our own light. And that means that you have to take full responsibility for your own life, yeah? I have learned that in the last few years so much. You know what? It also teaches you to take responsibility for yourself and for what you seed out there, yeah? It's that mirror, the mirror that always reflects you back to yourself, yeah? What you see in others is there within you. And that is what Mother Nature now is teaching us. She's already ascending. She's already there. Yeah. And I did my webinar last week on the songs of the earth. I was so inspired. And by the way, all my webinars and my courses are recorded. And you can always choose to go back and listen to what is transmitted through me. I'm just an instrument. And that is why I get so inspired, because since last year, I've always transmitted only in writing and into my soul readings. And I can access universal knowledge now and records I've never could access before, because as your consciousness grows, you can access higher and higher information. You don't need AI to do that for you. AI is a temporary thing. We will grow in consciousness where we won't even use that anymore. Just give it a few years and you'll see. AI in itself serves its own purpose, but it can only serve a certain purpose and not an eternal one. Yeah? But getting a bit off a mark here. What this means is, as your consciousness grows, as you evolve into the seventh dimensional state, you are a master. You are whole and complete within yourself, taking full responsibility for your thoughts, your words, your deeds. And we won't use words anymore. We will communicate telepathically. And that will mean in pictures, and other people can immediately read what you think, okay? Lies won't be anymore. And it's already happening, yeah? To me, this is such a precious time, because you not only remember who you are, but you also, your faculties, your talents and abilities, you have a soul when you was first birthed by the divine are being returned. And that is why the cosmic transmissions now that I've been asked to do are of our highest masters. And those are the words that will not only trigger you, but they'll speak into your soul with all that is, because this comes from a higher consciousness state. And it's not because I'm doing it, there are others that do it as well. But mainly because I want to say that we've got all the help that we need, okay? Yeah? We're not helpless. Goodness me, we're getting support from everywhere, help and so much love. That's why the sun flares are pouring into us. They're helping us to bring a new life to the forth, here within us. And also to remind us, oh my goodness, yeah? Because they're encoded in sacred geometries, and sacred geometries not only hold knowledge, cosmic knowledge, but also sound, yeah? Then we go, and the earth energies are amping up. Now she's already in the 7th to 9th. She's going into the 12th eventually. So that means we're getting it from above and below. That means, yes, things are going to change. It's unavoidable. Of course, you can choose not to change, or that's your choice. But why choose that? You know, every morning I wake up and I've got new revelations. I look at and I think to myself, wow, look at this. And I find such joy in nature now. I find such joy in actually new knowledge coming to me. I find joy in everything. And then I just say thank you to be alive. Yeah. At this time. I wish that joy would just ignite in you, and the love that you are there. And to think that we can now start co-creating a totally new existence. But it starts here, it starts within yourself. You can't expect other people to go and be that change if you don't want to be your change yourself. I love it. I really love it. And to me, it's like, okay, that means I can actually now choose which life I want to live. And I can choose what I want to think. I can choose what I want to broadcast. I can choose through my words. I can choose through my energy fields now, what I radiate out. I can choose. Yes, I got choose. I can choose. I can choose now to rejuvenate and regenerate in my new body. Yeah. The list goes on and on. And once you realize, wow, this is a huge opportunity for mastery, but also for growth, for taking on a new life, a new beginning of connecting intergalactically and universally. And you can do it all through your soul. Yeah. You don't need to step into a spaceship to go and visit Arcturus. You can go there and activate and be there with them in your soul body. That's not problems. Your soul can travel anywhere. It's not bound by the physical. Yeah. There's multidimensionality open. Right, we can teleport. We can bilocate. Yeah. And you will find that more people will just be in your presence and they heal. Because you are healed within you. So are you powerless? No, you've never been. You see, if you always constantly say, I'm too this, I'm too small, I'm too this, I'm too that, you are programming that inside yourself. But if you say, wow, today is a day that I am going to expand in consciousness. I'm going to be open to cosmic guidance. I'm going to be open to live the greatest life that I can live with humbleness. I am just an instrument in divine hands. That doesn't mean that I'm playing small. It means that I am so at one with divine source that I now am expressing my divine attributes, my talents, my abilities, my knowledge, my wisdom that I've had since time immortal when I was first birthed by the divine. And I am going to be the divine instrument through which this all comes into new form and new beginnings in the new earth, in my new solar light body and my crystalline heart. And I am going to open myself to receive gratefully and gracefully all the divine wishes to bestow upon me, which is greater and more than anything I can even imagine right now, in the highest and best ways for the highest good of all. So not only am I thriving, but everybody else is thriving. And I am going to encourage other people to live the best life of their life if they choose so. And I'm going to bless the earth, and I'm going to bless the waters, bless the air, bless the fires, bless the elements, bless the elementals, bless the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the tree kingdom, the animal kingdom, the bird kingdom, the insect kingdoms, all life within the earth and upon her, in her waters, in her air, in her fires, in the earth, all sentient beings, not only on earth, but in the solar system, in the galaxies, and in the whole universe, the omniverse. The more you bless, the more blessings return to you. That is why gratitudes open doors that you never believed were possible to open. We are possible. We are possible. We are possible. Infinite possibilities. Isn't that something to embrace? Isn't love and joy and gratitude blessings? To embrace all of you, your whole soul, your whole divinity. That is mastery. And it reflects in your thoughts and in your words, in your deeds, in all that you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you for embracing the incredible beauty, the purity, the perfection of your own soul and the divinity within it. Thank you for being a blessing of love and joy, of pure intention.
Thank you. Thank you, Japa Saraswati. Would you talk again what you are talking about?
Me, I think it's time for Harimandir to do God and me and God are one. No?
Yes. Oh,
Yes?
and listen, Harimandir, are you going to be the timer for 3 minutes?
I can try.
Oh, no, I'll do it.
Okay.
Don't worry. Okay. So, see, go ahead. Harimandir, go ahead. Can you write that now?
Yes, I just had to go to the bathroom and I'm coming back. And
That's important.
so hold on just a second here. So God and me and one are God, are one. echoes core teachings found across multiple traditions, because we have an innate desire to experience the spiritual unity, that to recognize the divine spark within ourselves. And it in Christian theology, it's I and the Father are one, in the New Testament, and perfect harmony in shared purpose. So the idea that it crosses all different theologies and different traditions, I think is important. So you can bring your hand in prayer pose if you'd like, or in Gyan Mudra, and we'll be chanting out loud the whole time. Is that right, Siri?
That's right. And it's going to be leading for Harimandir. So we all talk together. Okay? Okay? So listen to Harimandir and first talk together. Talk first for all of, and then after that, we will have 3 minutes, and Harimandir will be, the rest of us, we will talk like as the way she is. Do you get it?
Oh, kind of.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I've already explained kind of what it is, and now I think if I will chant it and then just join in for 3 minutes, right?
Oh no, everybody chants together with the right words, with the same words.
Right.
Okay, to keep the same word together.
Join
Okay,
chanting, right?
okay.
I think. Okay. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And it sounds like this. God and me and God are one. And I might have to bring it down a little bit. God and me and God are
one.
God and me
and God
are
one.
God and me and God are
one.
God and me and God are
One.
God and God are God and me and God
Good.
are God
And
me and God are one. God and me and God are God and
me
And
God
God and God are God and me,
me and
God
are
are one.
one. God
and me and God
are one.
and God
and me and
And
God
are
are
and
God
me
Me
and
and
God
one.
God
and
me and
God
are God and God are God and
and God
are God
and me
and God God and me and
And
are
Inhale and exhale and breathe. Okay, and you know that we are doing this meditation with Salt City and also with William Cole. Go ahead, Aagia Pal.
before Aagia Pal starts, I'd like to I remember once we started how each of those consonants and vowels are used within the mouth and the tongue. And the like when you say one N in Jewish tradition, if you're nervous or upset, you can put your tongue right at that same spot behind the teeth, and it helps. And it's in the back and against the teeth again, me, and as me, you almost go into a smile. Me and God are that are you would play around with it. Are one. So really pay attention physically to what is happening in the tongue and the mouth as you're chanting it.
Okay, thank you. Harimandir, can you tell me the name of your goddaughter?
My goddaughter's godmother. No, my daughter's godmother. And it's Marcia Nye Badger.
Okay, so that's 3 people. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, Aagia Pal.
yes. So staying in the same frequency that we're all in now after that beautiful chant, let's go into heart pumping, which is heart breath and pumping of the heart as you are breathing. And we'll do this for a minute. And please begin. And continue for the next minute with heart breath. No breath of fire, just heart breath, just smooth, continuous heart breath, opening and envisioning that ruby red crystal radiating from your open heart. And begin. And notice now for the next 3 minutes where your attention and your awareness lies with a Healy who may have come into your consciousness, whether it's yourself, someone else, the something from the plant kingdom, the tree kingdom, whatever. So focus on whatever has come to you and use your energy from your third eye. Focus on your Healy and allow that energy to heal intelligently whatever it needs to do to help your Healy. And so we'll do this for 3 minutes and please begin. And please inhale and exhale. And with deep gratitude. And next, Siri Gian will continue with CNR.
And breathe. Breathe. Remember, heart breath. Slide from fear. No reality, no thinking, no everyday self, but only feel and continue.
Housekeeping. Oh, I'm sorry. That's out.
Inhale. And breathe. And 2 minutes to become awareness and then understand what happened from your EDS. Use your notes and begin. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe. Okay. Aagia Pal, are you ready?
Yes, there is so much pouring in on me right now, like a waterfall, so much. My Healy will be. Yeah, I was told that there's no time with this work that with my Healy, and is William Coleman is very drawn to his energy, and I asked, well, I commented that I feel he needs a lot of loving third eye energy, lots of it, more than me, I mean, more than just from me. And I asked, could we on a soul level all project third eye energies from our souls to, you know, to intensify the healing, because I felt that um little more strongly that he does have a walk-in and that he's not aware of it, and he has all these powers that it's just he's not aware of them, and therefore not using them. And then I remember from David Clements that infinity is not a quantity, but it's a quality. And the purity of the infinite, so I don't have to be worried about, more energy, more of it. However, yes, there is permission, there's an okay to invoke the third eye, if you will, energies of soul, in its purest, most divine form, to focus and help this individual. And I was also pretty strongly instructed that once I say yes to this Healy, I have to, as Judith was saying, taking responsibility for, in other words, it's not a one-shot deal. It's necessary to come back to him with this dynamite diamond energy, from my human energetic form, and also, to invoke it from the soul, from the soul, and then this, God and me and God are one. So all of our souls that are one, I think sometimes called oversoul, just that. So that's what I'm feeling right now, quite energized, a tad bit on the overwhelmed side, and like doors are opening, like Judith was saying, everything it's pouring in now, these higher frequency, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th dimensional frequencies, pouring into the new earth. So I'll just end by saying the thoughts I'm telling myself are to be patient, be open, to continue, because take responsibility for those Heelys whom I have begun to work with, and until it's clear that it's not finished, but that I can end, or not end, but I can somehow fade off of these energies, sending to them. Yeah, so just trying to, put, and I guess my head's getting involved, left brain's getting involved too much with this, so I'm just kind of just trying to breathe and let all this move through me, and ask it to purify, as we gain mastery. Judith was saying, it's the more pure we are in our words, our thoughts, and our deeds. So anyway, that's my intention, and that's what I will say from now on before I work with a Healy. And so I'll share the time. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. Good. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Gian Dasprem.
Thank you. God and me and God are one, Satanam.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very deep, in following the breath and seeing the light in the breath, and then seeing the light in the eyes. And it was a bear, it was a baby bear who was looking around for her family. So what I was brought to was myself, and the reminder of the light in the eyes, coming from within, and the silence, within the communication of the eyes. And what I was showed was a totem, and how the language is within the carving and within the images, and that we have a way of seeing that and feeling that and bringing that into our soul, into ourself as part of this living experience. And I was given some words. What it was described to me was history decompressing into compassion in a relative fashion. And I was looking at this pond because of the word Coleman and diamond. I was just brought to one of my places where a little diamond pond, and the first time I went there, I was just struck in awe by just the look of it. It was frozen the first time I went there. And I was noticed the thawing within that, and the letting go within that, and the relativity of the light and the way of life through light, and the course that we travel, and the ways that we travel through it. Being a moving being, right? We're moving inside of us, there's movement around us, and we're on a round ball that's moving. So what I was told to focus on was to get a ball and put a ball, whatever size I can get, and hold on to that ball, and notice the correlation of the birthing within the ball and the life within the ball, whether it be planets or inside of the womb. Once again, breathing underwater with very little or no memory, and then coming back to that ability to breathe through that and just to sit with it and be with it. And the sacred waters are just sort of being blessed by our light coming through across all of that way to come to earth, and for us to realize that as part of a birth or a rebirth of this cycling of the planet is just so beautiful. And I'm thankful to be giving these the totems that I've seen through the animals. And it was sort of I was seeing like sparkles on the waves, and from above they look like, you know, how the salt works, or how the foam works with waves and brings up bubbles and things like that. So noticing what's coming to the surface, and then we have another big full moon coming up at the end of the month. So yeah, being with all of that is, as far as where we are too, and that coming into that sharing of all this freedom of information, right? Of the freedom of freedom becoming to all beings, so that we can have that freedom to travel again and find homes where we travel. The sharing of that comfort in the being, as we notice what we have traveled through to be in this place. It has been unspoken, our travels, and then we are here to speak. So we also have the chance to go within inside and sort of find that silence where there is that message coming through. And it's so beautiful to see when in the mention today of, you know, looking around or going outside, and noticing, yeah, the ease at which it's done and all the spaces in between. And then, you know, noticing the clutter too, like if we do have sort of clutter, and taking charge of that, and through the appreciation of the matter and the creation. And thank you so much for the Waheguru of that within, and seems to roll into it all, for that ball to be held and felt and turned around. And thank you so much, Waheguru, Waheguru.
Thank you. Oh, I guess Salt City.
Should be.
That's left. Okay. So, oops. Oh, Harimandir.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What I found most interesting in the CNR this time was that in addition to William and Marcia Nye Badger and Satsiri, I kept remembering, oh, I need to bring my daughter in. And that there was a resistance there. And someone had mentioned before that with the diamond, the diamond heart meditation, that sometimes it's too strong. So with Marcia, I wasn't focusing on her as much as the whole family. 3 daughters and a son, and they were all here. And a brand new baby with one of them. And because Melanie is Marcia's goddaughter, Melanie is part, they are all god sisters and god brothers. So I could work with Melanie, but only within the group of the whole group. I couldn't work on her separately, which I found interesting. So, but as part of that whole group of god sisters and a god brother and a new god nephew, and other kids, that's where she belonged in that whole piece. So I found that interesting. And CNR, I'm figuring out how it is different, how it is the same, but maybe also different, or maybe it's the same as Satnam Rasayan, which is healing into the space of universal truth. And when I have gone into Satnam Rasayan, I go into a complete non-breathing, as if the breath is coming from through the pores, not through the lungs. And I had that same short experience in this CNR, that I go deeply and I'm not breathing, which is very different than all the breath work.
Okay. Now, I would suggest that you use heart breath. Okay? Use the heart breath. Okay? Because that's very important. Okay? So that's the difference.
So CNR is heart breath with the 6 minutes, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, versus going into that just feeling.
Yes. Well, do that and then do the feeling. Okay? Slide fear away, which means peace. And what was the next thing? And the last thing is about being, just be.
Right. And
That part is important. Oh, right. No reality. No reality.
and for me, Satnam Rasayan brings me into that space of just being, no reality, just allowing ever.
Okay. So the only difference, The only difference appears to be heart
breathing.
From the heart. This is very important.
So from the heart, but not necessarily heart breath, but that it's all done through the heart.
Breath.
Yeah, okay.
Have you seen that before? Did you? I talked about that several months ago, as well as Dr. Clements, to do that with moving the breath from your heart.
Right. I understand.
Okay.
And now Japa Saraswati.
Oh, so you're saying we're for the next person?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I have to leave pretty soon, so.
Okay. Japa Saraswati.
Satnam. Well, one of what came up for me among the other things was I misspoke earlier. I said the law of requisite demand, but what I meant to say was the law of requisite variety. But it's also sometimes called the law of requisite complexity, and it means that whichever component in a system has the most variety or the most complexity, but I was thinking of it as demand, like demand, like it supplies a need. You know, it controls economic markets as well as, anyway, it can it what it means is that the component that is the most flexible component, or the component that is the most complex component, or the component that is the most like variable, will be able to serve the most need. And and uh and oh, here are my notes. Oh, so um I used in Florida, I taught yoga, and I had this series of yoga clients who were women who were, I want to say, kind of abused, you know. And this one woman was, um, oh, she'd really been through the ringer of it. And she was incredibly flexible. And me, myself, I'm incredibly flexible. And I started noticing amongst these yoga ladies that the ones that were the most flexible seemed to be a little bit the most abused, but also seemed to be a little bit the most survivors. You know, the ones that were able to survive the challenge. And then what I saw during the meditation, as I was sort of meditating with the law of requisite variety, is that we think of the most important, or the master component of a system, as kind of the masculine, like the big man on top. You know, you think of him as a guy, as a man. But really, what I saw in the meditation was that it's a very feminine quality, and that it's that 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 being able to, uh in French it's souple, it's like supple, uh it's like, um anyway, what I felt was that this femininity was not weak. And then what I saw was that rigidity was what kills so many men young. You know, that men die so much before women do, and that this rigidity is that inflexibility, that stuck in the ways, that refusal to, you like wearing blinders almost, and that is kind of a masculine feeling, a masculine trait, and that it's this what I basically saw with myself was to soften, like to soften and
Okay.
become more flexible, less rigid, less identified.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. This was so wonderful, by the way. I loved this is a very long meditation, but I especially loved Harimandir doing the chanting. I love the chanting. I loved being able to also help and talk to Sat City. I felt like that was really important.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And we'll find out next week what happens for her.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a strong intuition.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Good. Well, thank you so much. Okay. Now I'm going to give you homework. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a video for 2 hours, and it's from PBS. You know what that is? Public Broadcast System. And it's about black hole. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So try to stay with it. It's so much. I mean, they're trying their best for become us to understand what's going to happen. Okay. And I will give that to Japa Saraswati to put that for the text. Okay. And that's about, it's called Black Hole Apocalypse, actually. Okay. And then after that, the next Wednesday, I pray that I can make some more sense about that, about all of you with the Aquarian shift. Okay?
Mm,
Very fun.
you will.
Okay. Good deal.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mahalo.
Yes. Okay. So, Gian Dasprem, will you sing our song?
Okay. So we'll do one time through, long time sun, and then one long sat, short nam.
Okay.
So inhale together, exhale, and inhale to begin.
Good.
May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. So bless you all and love you, love you, love you. See,
Love you.
You all have a great week.
thank you. You
Good
too.
night. Yep.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
now.
See you next week.
Okay.